Hi traders, welcome to my video on the Evening Scalper EA. This is an expert advisor or Forex robot if you prefer that has been developed to trade in the MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 trading platforms. Okay, so you can see here I have the Evening Scalper EA running in the MT4 strategy tester. In order to install the EA, you need to go to File, Open Data Folder, navigate to MQL4 if you're on the MT4 platform or MQL5 if you're using MT5. Go to the Experts folder and just place the Expert Advisor in here as I have already done here. You can see the Evening Scalper EA there. Once you've done that, you should find the Evening Scalper EA available in your MT4, MT5 platform. Okay, I've loaded it here in the strategy tester window because I'm just going to run a few tests to show you what this Forex robot can do. Okay, so we've selected it here, Evening Scalper selected. We're going to test the symbols recommended by the developer. Okay, they've spent years testing and developing the EA. So if anybody knows what settings and currency pairs work best, it's the developer. They recommend the 5-minute chart time frame, so we've selected that here. 5-minute charts. We're going to test every tick. Okay, this is the slowest form of testing. However, it does also give the most accurate results, which is important, especially when using a scalping trading system that often a few pips can make a big difference, whether that's in terms of take profit, stop loss, the spread, slippage. Pips can really have a massive impact on the performance of a scalping strategy. So we're going to use every tick. Okay, for the spread, we're going to use the current spread. Bearing in mind, this can change depending on the time when you test the EA. For example, if you test when it's the weekend, the current spread could be quite high, and therefore the results would be not as realistic had you been testing during market hours. Okay, you can also set fixed spreads. Perhaps if your broker has fixed spreads, or you just want to do a high fixed spread to cover your broker fees, spreads and commissions. Okay, you can also use third-party software such as Burt's Tick Data Suite if you want to test with real variable spreads and slippage, and also get 99% modeling quality, because by default the MT4 strategy tester is limited to 90% modeling quality. Okay, for the dates, we're going to use the past 4 years. Okay, you can choose dates here. And for the settings, we'll just use the default settings to begin with, but I'll go through these after regardless. So if we just hit start, okay, so just load the data for us. And then run the test over the past 4 years, okay. If you check the developer's website using the link below in the description, you can see up-to-date verified results, and the performance has been very impressive over the long term. Okay, so bearing in mind that is historical performance, there's obviously no guarantee of what will happen moving forward, but it can just give you an idea of how the EA trades, so you can see if it's something that you'd consider adding to your portfolio. Okay, so if we look at the graph, there you go, nice upwards graph, 90% modeling quality based on every tick. Okay, so it's performed quite well based on historical data, over 300 trades, and decent performance. Okay. You can see more detailed stats by clicking on the report, such as the profit trades, 80% profitable trades, very good win rate. Profit factor 3.32 is very good. Minimal drawdown. Of course, you can adjust the lot size or position size as well, which will affect the profit and also the drawdown. So for example, if we just choose fixed lots and we trade, let's just say one standard lot. Okay, and then run the test again. This will show us the results using a larger lot size. As you can see here under the results, the trades are placed in a position size of one standard lot instead. Okay, you can adjust all of the EA settings according to your own preferences. Okay, so let's just see that. There you can see the profit is substantially more. The profit factor stays the same. The drawdown does increase. Still, 5% is a really low maximal drawdown with a 7% relative drawdown. Very acceptable in my opinion, with a very, very good net profit. So great performance based on testing over the past 4 or 5 years. So that's on the Euro New Zealand dollar. The developer recommends the Euro New Zealand dollar, Euro Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, Euro and British pound and Australian dollar, and the British pound and Canadian dollar. So we're going to run a test on each of these. So we've done the Euro New Zealand dollar. Let's do the Euro and Australian dollar as well now. Okay, we'll just leave it trading one lots. Okay, it's just going to collect the data now. You can see here on the chart an example trade that the EA has placed. Okay, so this is sell trade. What the EA seems to do is to look for low volatility and just try to scalp a few pips on a reversal, which is fine, typical scalping strategy. Okay, a nice upward curve again, this time on the Euro Australian dollar, just showing strong performance of the EA. Okay, good profit, minimal drawdown, 3%. I'd be very happy with that. Very high profit factor of 5 and above. So excellent performance, as you can see. What was the win rate? 86% win rate. Very, very good indeed. Okay, so that's 2 currency pairs recommended by the developer, both performing very well. We switch over to the Australia dollar and New Zealand dollar. We'll run again a test on here. Bearing in mind there are limitations to backtests, they can give you a rough idea of what to expect, but you have to consider factors such as variable spreads. We're obviously testing with the current spread now. The spread can be different during the trading hours depending on market liquidity, the volatility as well, and your broker, of course. As with any scalping strategy, the lower the broker spreads, the better the performance is going to be. So you go Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, another nice upwards equity curve. Good amount of profit, very high profit factor again. 86% profit trades. And minimal drawdown again. Very impressive performance. That's 3 pairs, all very impressive. So now we'll go to another recommended pair, which is the New Zealand dollar and the Canadian dollar. We'll run again. It's good to see that the EA is using the same settings across multiple currency pairs. For me, this emphasizes the strength of the strategy implemented within the EA. What you'll often find is that some expert advisors just over-optimize with individual set files for each currency pair. And the problem with this is that you end up just basically with a random bunch of settings that don't have any sort of logic behind them at all. Okay, very good performance there. New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. Good amount of profit, high profit factor again, 79% profit trades, and a very low drawdown considering we're trading 1 standard lot as well on a 10k initial balance. Under expert properties testing, you can choose the initial deposit there, and obviously under the inputs, as I mentioned, you can choose your lot size if you want to use fixed lots. You can also use risk as well. So that's for example, if we just do high risk 5% per trade and just run that and see the difference in results. So this time the EA will automatically calculate the lot size based on the risk, okay, rather than use fixed lots. You can see it just increases the position size as the balance increases. And yeah, the profit is obviously a lot more because the lot size has been increasing with the balance. So you can configure that accordingly. Again, we'll go on to another pair. So that's 4 pairs performing well. So the next pair recommended, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. We'll run that again with the risk setting just to see how that performs. We ran a few using fixed lots. So now we'll run a few with fixed risk. This is a scalping strategy, as I said. So you're going to want a broker with low spreads, low commissions as well, minimal slippage. And again, you can check the verified results using the link below on the developer's website. They'll also be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Very, very good support offered. Okay, that's another good result. Good amount of profit, 83% profit trades, high profit factor, minimal drawdown. I mean, 4% drawdown using, how much risk were we using? 5% per trade. I mean, that's super impressive. Probably one of the best scalping EAs I've ever come across, to be honest. And I have been doing this a long time. So we'll go to the euro pound now. Let's run that, see how this one goes. Been really impressed with the currency pairs we tested so far. We are running on every tick. As I said, if you want 99% modeling quality and to use real variable spreads and account for commissions and slippage, you can, of course, use a software implemented within the MT4 platform, such as Bert's Tick Data Suite. Okay, just to take your back test into that next level. Okay. So this currency pair, the euro pound, is typical scalping pair, decent amount of profit, again low drawdown and a 70% profit, decent profit factor too. Happy with that. Pound Australian dollar, this is another recommended pair. Keeping in mind we're just testing the last 4 or 5 years. You can test as far back as your data will allow. I would, to be honest, be testing 20 years or so. It's just for the purpose of this video. It'd take too long. And I think, the last 4 to 5 years should give you a good inclination of what to expect. Not to mention, on the developer's website, you can actually get real verified up-to-date results, which are perhaps, well, certainly more important than back tests, okay? Because back tests are not always, well, definitely not at any time completely reliable, okay? It's just impossible to duplicate market conditions from real time, but it can give you a rough idea of what to expect. And what we can expect based on this testing is a decent performance, 89% profit trades, good amount of profit again, high profit factor. And you can just imagine combining all of these pairs we've tested so far. If you were running them all together in a portfolio, so what we're on, we've tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th pair. So if we were trading all 8 recommended pairs in a portfolio and we put together all of the profit that we've seen so far, not to mention the compounding of the lot size as the balance increased, there's certainly, you can see huge potential there. Of course, results will vary between brokers and accounts. Just be wary of that. No results are guaranteed ever. That applies to any Forex robot or trading system and signals. So here we have the pound Canadian dollar. Again, nice upwards equity curve. Very good amount of profit. High profit factor. 84% profit. I mean, generally seeing a drawdown around the 5% mark, a profit win rate around 80%, profit factor north of 3 on average, I'd say, for the 8 pairs that we've tested. And for me, this is a very solid expert advisor for anyone who's looking for a scalping robot in the MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5 platforms. Okay, you can, as with all EAs, experiment with the settings if you wish. Okay, we were just running the default settings provided by the developer, which seemed to do a good job. I mean, if anyone should know what settings to use, it will be them, right? They're the ones who have spent years working on it. This is one of the top-rated expert advisors on the MQL platform as well. They do also have other expert advisors I've reviewed. Interestingly, you can get free copies as well. So if you use the link below, you can get free trials for all of their EAs just to see if they fit your trading requirements. Okay, so if we just quickly look at some of the settings, we have the risk, the lots you can choose. Okay, so the maximum lots. You can choose if you want to buy and sell or just buy and just sell. Okay. There's other settings like the drawdown, maximum open orders. Okay, trading days, trading hours. Obviously, scalps drawing quieter trading hours, looks like. Okay, you can choose when it starts and stops trading. Holiday filters as well, very useful. Okay, got an ATR filter. Lots of configurable settings which you can adjust depending on your own trading preferences. They've got news filters as again, low, medium, impact news, set to true or false these if you want to avoid trading around holidays. Okay. Lots and lots of settings that you can experiment with. You can of course run optimizations if you wish. Okay, if you want to just, you know, hour to start opening orders, you can say, okay, I want to test from, let's test from 12 in 1 hour increments and stop at 20. So this will test 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, minutes, an hour to stop opening orders. We'll just start at, let's say 20, go up in 1 and stop at 24. Well, we can do 23 because they use a minutes end. So that's fine. Hour to stop trading. Let's just put, I don't know, what should we do? Should we just do 1 till 24? 1 to 23 will do. So with optimization, you basically check the settings you want to optimize, okay? And then the EA, and then check this optimization box. And when you click start, what will happen is the strategy tester will then run all of the various combinations that you have selected and show you the results of combining the various different settings. Okay, so we'll see some start to come through in a minute, and I can just to give you an example of what to expect. Bearing in mind, we are using every tick for testing, so the process is not going to be the quickest for this purpose. But as it's a scalping EA, we kind of really need to be on every tick testing. You could use open prices only testing just for a very rough idea, and then switch to every tick testing just to confirm settings. But an optimization can be a good way to find your own bespoke settings by just combining various different inputs to see what results they produce. I do have skip useless results selected on here, so any negative results just won't display here. Okay. So we've had like 2 passes. Okay, one of them was probably not good because it's not here, but we've got these settings here. Okay, and we'll just let it run a bit more. You can see it would take a while. You've got your time here, how long it will take, depends how powerful your computer is. Sometimes I'll run optimization overnight if it's going to take a long time, or I'll run it during the weekend. I might have multiple optimizations running at any time on a VPS on different platforms. You know, sometimes I let optimizations run for days and weeks if I'm testing a big combination of settings. But we've had a couple come through now. So what this does is it basically tests each setting that you want to optimize. So you can see here is with the first one is with the hours to stop 1, second one is with hours to stop trading 3. Okay, so it just basically combines the options we selected. And the purpose of doing this is just to see if we can find a good combination of settings. As I said, the settings provided by the developer, I'd be confident enough to use them. I mean, they've done the hard work. They spent years testing, developing, and optimizing the EA themselves. So I'm sure the settings they provide are going to be the best ones. But for those of you who are advanced out there and you just want to play around, it can be quite fun trying to optimize it and find good settings. Just be careful not to over optimize. Okay, it's a mistake a lot of traders make when they just basically want to throw so much at the wall and see what sticks when it's just you end up curve fitting, and that's just finding a bunch of random settings that happen to be good for the data set that you're using without any logic behind them. Okay, so go careful with that. I mean, you know, if you optimize settings for the last 5 years, they won't necessarily be the settings that have been good for the last 20 years, and they certainly might not be the ideal settings moving forward. Okay, but optimization can be useful when used correctly. Okay, so we've had some results come through. I think I'll stop it there. Okay, we can sort the results by profit, number of trades, the profit factor, the drawdown. I do have a video on using the MT4 strategy tester you can check out as well. But let's just say this result here. Okay, we like the look of that one. So if you double click it, what will happen is those settings will then be loaded into the EA. Okay. Again, checkboxes of the settings we were optimizing to combine together. Okay, and then you can save them to load them at a later date, whether that's for the strategy test or applying the settings to your chart. And if you click start, what will happen is it will run a test using those optimization settings that we got from our optimization. Okay, again, this is advanced stuff. You don't have to optimize the EA. You can just use the developer settings. Visit the website using the link below, and you'll see all the EAs. They got all their verified live results on MyFXbook. Free trials available, and the developer is happy to answer any questions. Okay, so there you go. There's a test ran using our own bespoke settings we got for our optimization. Not bad at all. We can do the same for all currency pairs. You could even optimize other trading instruments and currency pairs that have not been recommended. I mean, the developer does recommend 8, but you might like to trade the euro dollar or the pound dollar or the dollar Swiss franc, and you might just want to optimize various settings on there. Okay. It might be that your broker has really low spreads on the euro dollar, so you prefer to scalp on that one if using a scalping strategy such as this. You can also optimize on different periods. You might want to optimize on the 50-minute chart time frame, or or the 1 minute. Okay, it's very flexible and customizable, which I really like when an expert advisor has all configurable options. It may seem overwhelming at first, but instructions are included that explain them all in detail for you. Yeah, so there you go. I think this is a solid EA based on back testing and the verified results provided by the developer, to be fair. Of course, nothing's guaranteed moving forward, but we have everything we need to make an informed decision if this is something we would like to use on our account. Of course, we could always start on a demo account to begin with, just to see how things go and to familiarize ourselves with any Forex robot. Okay, I hope you found that useful. I do appreciate you watching. If you can like and subscribe, that would be great. And I hope to catch you on the next one. Take care.